France, Belgium, the Netherlands, Norway, Denmark, Hitler and the Nazi Party now set their targets on Eastern Europe, and in particular the Soviet Union, leading to the Battle of Stalingrad. When we think about the most significant battles of World War II, we may think about Normandy, Okinawa or Iwo Jima. Yes, all of these battles were very bloody and brutal and suffered many casualties. However, the scope of this cannot compare to the Battle of Stalingrad. The Battle of Stalingrad was one of the most significant events of the Second World War. In this video, we will dive into the background information of the battle, discuss its importance in the outcome of the war, and explore the aftermath. The Battle of Stalingrad was a turning point in the Eastern Front and had far-reaching consequences that still affect us today. So buckle up and let's dive into the history of the Battle of Stalingrad. The Eastern Front of World War II was a theatre of conflict between the European Axis powers and the co-belligerent Finland against the Soviet Union, Poland and other allies, which encompassed Central Europe, Eastern Europe, Northeast Europe in the Baltics and Southeast Europe in the Balkans from the 22nd of June 1941 to the 9th of May 1945. It was the largest and deadliest theatre of war during the Second World War, with the majority of the violence and casualties. In the summer of 1942, the German army had launched a massive offensive towards the Soviet Union, aimed at capturing the oil fields in the Caucasus region and the city of Stalingrad. The city was strategically important because it was located at the junction of the Volga River and the Don River and controlled approaches to the Caucasus region. The German army, under the command of General Friedrich Paulus, reached the outskirts of Stalingrad in August 1942 and began a siege of the city. The Soviet Union, under the leadership of Joseph Stalin, was determined to defend the city at all costs. The Soviet army, under the command of General Vasily Chuikov, dug in and prepared to defend the city against the German siege. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, the Soviet forces held their ground and put up fierce resistance. The battle lasted for 5 months and resulted in some of the most fierce and brutal fighting of the war. In August 1942, German forces surrounded the city, effectively cutting off all supplies and reinforcements. The German army launched a massive artillery barrage on the city, and the siege of Stalingrad began. The siege of Stalingrad was a brutal and intense struggle for control of the city. The German army attempted to take control of the city street by street, building by building. The fighting was brutal and often took place at close quarters, with soldiers using bayonets, hand grenades and flamethrowers. The fighting in Stalingrad was among the most intense of the Second World War. The battle was fought in a densely populated urban area, and the fighting often took place in ruined buildings, narrow streets and alleyways. The conditions were harsh, with extreme cold and lack of supplies taking a toll on both sides. The battle became a symbol of the brutal and bloody nature of the Eastern Front, with both sides suffering very heavy casualties. The fighting in Stalingrad lasted for up to 5 months, with neither side gaining a decisive advantage. In November 1942, the Soviet Union launched a huge counterattack against the German forces surrounding the city of Stalingrad. The Soviet army, under the command of Zhukov, launched a massive assault that caught the German army off guard. The counterattack was a turning point in the battle, as it allowed the Soviet forces to break the German encirclement and push the enemy back. The German defeat at Stalingrad was a crucial turning point in the Eastern Front of World War II. The battle lasted for 5 months and the German army suffered heavy losses. The defeat at Stalingrad marked the beginning of the end for the German army in the Eastern Front and the beginning of a series of losses that would ultimately lead to their defeat in the war. The Battle of Stalingrad had a profound impact on the Eastern Front of World War II. The German defeat at Stalingrad signalled a change in the balance of power. The battle also had a profound psychological impact on both sides, with the German army never fully recovering from the defeat, and the Soviet army gaining a new confidence and determination to fight on. The battle also had a significant impact on the war effort, as it allowed the Soviet Union to gain the upper hand in the Eastern Front and push the German army back towards Germany. The Battle of Stalingrad was one of the bloodiest battles of World War II, with both sides suffering heavy casualties and losses. The exact number of casualties is unknown, but estimates suggest that the German army lost approximately 200,000 soldiers, while the Soviet Union lost approximately a staggering 850,000 soldiers. The battle also resulted in the destruction of much of the city, with over 80% of the buildings in Stalingrad being destroyed or heavily damaged. The impact of the Battle of Stalingrad was far-reaching, with significant consequences for both the Soviet Union and Germany. The victory at Stalingrad was a major boost for the morale of the Soviet people and military. For Germany, it allowed the Soviet Union to gain the upper hand in the Eastern Front and push them back. The Battle of Stalingrad had a lasting legacy and is remembered as one of the most significant battles of the Second World War. The battle is remembered for its brutal and intense fighting and for the high casualties on both sides. It is also remembered for its impact on the war effort, as it marked a turning point in the Eastern Front and ultimately led to the defeat of Germany. The legacy of the battle continues to this day, with the city of Stalingrad being renamed Volgograd in 1961 and being remembered as a symbol of Soviet victory and determination in the face of adversity. The Battle of Stalingrad was a pivotal moment in World War II and had a lasting impact on the outcome of the war. It is a fascinating subject for those interested in military history of World War II. For those who would like to learn more about the Battle of Stalingrad and World War II, we have many other videos uploaded on the channel that you can check out. Thank you guys for watching.